Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Peter. I'm new to YouTube, decided to try something new. Like the rest of the world at the moment, in lockdown due to wonderful COVID. Thanks so much. And yeah, this is something I've wanted to do for a while and decided to give it a go. So I have an idea as to what I want to do today. Have an image in my head as to what I want to do. Whether it turns out like that is another matter. If you want to see how it turns out, keep watching. So the look I'm going to be going for today is kind of a smoky eye, stock standard, something I love doing, but I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to have a bit of a blue lid. So this is either going to turn out well and the video will be put up, or I'm going to hate it and know what, this will never see the light of day. So if you're watching this, you know how it turned out. So to get started, I've already moisturized. I've already done the skin regimen side of things. I'm going to get going with the Bobbi Brown Skin Smoothing Pore Perfector. Really good, particularly if you have an oily T-zone. It's one product that I really like to use to help smooth everything out and stop the shine. You're gonna have to forgive me in terms of filming. My setup isn't the best because, well, like I mentioned, first video. If I decide to do this more, then I'll get a better setup. How are you guys coping with lockdown anyway? Not going insane, I hope? With any luck? So next, I'm just going to go in with the rest of the face primer with the Fenty Beauty. One of my favorite products. Absolutely love it. It goes on smooth, lovely, fresh. Smells nice as well. And let's go for so recently, a little bit about myself. I live in Australia. 34 years old. I hate it when people say 34 years young. It's like, no, you've lived for 34 years. You're 34 years old. But each to their own, I guess. We have recently had lockdown lifted a little bit. We've gone back to stage 2, I think. So we're now allowed out in cafes. We're now allowed a maximum of 5 people in your house at any given time, which is nice. And it's currently Monday. I just had my first Saturday, or my first weekend with relaxed restrictions. Do you think I did anything? I think a lot of people are like that as well. Didn't really do much, didn't really plan to do much. All right, so one of my favorite foundations to go in with is, when I can find it, the Bobbi Brown Long Wear Even Finish Foundation with SPF 15. I'll learn to speak properly eventually after 34 years. Really good foundation. It's got a good bit of coverage to it. It's buildable. It's workable. I absolutely love this foundation. The other one that I use is the LA Girl Cosmetics, but I actually prefer the Bobbi Brown. LA Girl is good, but not so much for my skin. I tend to have more oily T-zone, dry everywhere else. I find in the T-zone it just cracks too much. As I was talking about before, a little bit about me, a little bit more about me. this is something that I've thought about doing for a few years now and just never gotten around to doing it, just because didn't have time, had too much going on with work, didn't really know how to do it, how to set it up, so just never really did. But recently, with lockdown and some conversations with friends, it's something that I've looked at doing a little bit more and getting into a little bit more, hence why video today. I also do typically have long hair, it's just tied back at the moment because it's wet. And I just can't be bothered blow drying it. I'm not going anywhere. Well, I might head down to the shops after this. So what have you guys been doing during lockdown? How have you been coping? What's it like in your area? Leave a comment below. Definitely curious to see how everyone has been coping and everyone has been getting through current situation. I hope you're all keeping safe though, and all keeping in contact with friends and family. Now, generally once I've done my foundation, I like to go in with a blender just to smooth everything out. I like to put it on with a brush because I feel like you get the coverage that you want. I actually don't like, on me, a lot of coverage. I like to keep it quite light and still look somewhat like skin. I love it when people can pull off and confidently pull off a full mask. That just isn't me. I like to let my skin breathe. Having said that though, the more I get into it, the more I'm probably going to want to do a mask. A lot of this is routines that you guys would have all seen before, so I'll probably pause the video here and then come back once the foundation is done and get on with the eyes. Alright, back with the face done. So to give you guys the clue into what I used, I did a light set with the RCMA translucent powder. Really, really good setting powder. Doesn't get any flashback, or I haven't noticed any flashback. I really am just this pale. Concealer wise, I went in with the LA Girl Cosmetics Pro Concealer. I do like, whilst I'm not a major fan of their foundations, on me personally, I do think their foundations are good, just not on me. Their concealers, I actually really do like their concealers. They're thick, they're creamy, and they easily blend out and they stay where you put them. Onto the eyes. So normally I see a lot of people who start with their crease, and under most circumstances that's generally what I do as well. But considering what I'm wanting to do today, I'm going to do things a little bit differently and start with the color on the lid, the blue color that I want to get on the lid. So I'm just going in with the Smashbox 24-hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. Really nice primer. Haven't really used all too many at the moment, but I do really quite like this primer. I'm just going to go in with that on the lid. Sorry, I've got the mirror behind. Just going to go in with that on the lid. And I really just want to focus that primarily on the lid at the moment because of what I'm going to be doing or what I'm going to be trying today. Now, one trick I actually really like when it comes to doing your face, a lot of people have a bit of an issue when you put on your foundation and you set everything. If you put too much pressure or you rub too much on your skin, it can still move about a little bit. But that depends, I guess, on how well you've set it. Plus, if you've got anything on your hand, it will transfer over. So what I like to do is just a powder puff on the end of my fingers. That way, when I'm working, I can balance with my hand against my cheek and then use the brush without getting transfer. Little tip. Hopefully it helps somebody out there. All right. You're going to be seeing a bit of the back of my head at the moment because of the way that my setup is, but so I'm just going to go in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, just on a Bobbi Brown touch-up brush, little flat brush, just to get it a little bit wet and be able to help pick up the pigment for what I want. Now, the blue I'm going in with today, there we go. I'm going to be going in with Chi from the Juvia's Place, the Masquerade palette. Great palette, high pigmentation, and those shimmer shades are amazing. This is the Chi shade here. It's a really nice, deep, rich blue. I wanted the brush a little bit wet to get the full impact for what I'm going to be trying to do. Now, like I said, this is just an experiment, so I don't know. I have an idea as to how I want this to turn out, but how it's going to turn out, we shall see. I'm just placing that on the, I guess, inner part of my eyelid, in a third of my eyelid. And I'm going to go in with a, gonna go in with a black shadow in a second when I can find the black from their palette. Their palettes are actually really good and blend really, really well. And I'm going to do a trick that I saw Wayne Goss, I think is his name, doing. And it's just a tight line technique. And the idea of it is you just want to get some black shadow or some black liner in your lash line before you go through and start doing your lines and your smoke, because it helps fill it in and cover it up. although this shade is not so much a black as it is like a really dark brown, almost black. I'll go in with a black towards the end. All right. So that's starting to give me the definition that I want. Which is always nice. All right, so now I'm going to grab just a crease brush, just a blending crease brush, anyone that you have. I'm going to go in with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Beauty Killer palette in the shade Courtney, which is that shade right there. Personally, I find this shade really, really good for the creases. It's a really good neutral blending tone. You just want to tuck that into your crease just to give it something, a base for something that when you go in to do the rest of the colours shortly. Now, I'm not a fully qualified makeup artist. I love doing makeup. I enjoy doing makeup on myself or on other people. It just depends on the occasion. I do have my own freelance business that I've started up a while ago. I haven't really done too much with it, but it's there ready to go for when I do start to really push myself and really start to push my business. Makeup is just something that I've always loved and always enjoyed and always had fun doing and always had a passion for doing. And I'm about to submit my last couple of assignments to be able to finish that off. Finally. Too long in the making. Alright, so now that I've done the Courtney shade, I am going to go in with a MAC 227, though it's just a large fluffy paddle brush, and I'm going to go in with, from the same palette, China White. That I'm just going to blend under the brows just to give a little bit of highlight and a little bit of definition under there, and to help blend out the Courtney. I really need to get my eyebrows done. Well, once lockdown and COVID is over, I'll be able to get out and get it done. Because let's face it, I am too lazy to do it myself. And I just can't get the shape right. Now, just to... That's where it is. Just to help bring back that crease a little bit more, because I went a little bit overzealous, I'm just going to go back in with the Courtney, whatever's left on the brush, just to bring that colour back a little bit. It's better. Wasn't quite enough left on the brush. Trick with blending, I find, and a lot of people will probably agree with this, is it's very much a case of backwards and forwards and blend and blend and add and blend and add and blend and back and forth. Just till you get the right smoke out, or you get the right color, or you get what you're going for effectively. So you'll see me doing a lot of backwards and forwards, but I'm sure that none of you are new to this. All right, now with a, what am I, Mac 224. So blending brush again, I'm going to go back in with the Crush Cosmetics palette again. I'm just going to dip in with this taupey brown color, just to help add a little bit more depth and a little bit more shade to that crease before I start going in with the deepers and the blacks. So sound off below what your favorite palettes are, what your favorite brands are. Personally, I love Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I find his eyeshadows just blend beautifully and they just sit beautifully. The Juvia's Palace, I'll link it below. I think I've got the name wrong. But their shadows are really pigmented and absolutely beautiful. Crush Cosmetics, I think, unfortunately, are going out of business, or have gone out of business. There is a link on their website that says that they are potentially going to be reopening under a rebranding. I hope they do, because I really love their palettes. Once again, they blend beautifully. They are really well pigmented. They're actually an Australian brand, and as far as I know, they're made in Australia. They're cruelty-free, they're vegan, I believe. All of the information will be linked on their website anyway. And I'm just really happy that I found them. And they're a really good dupe for Morphe. Pretty much the same packaging as the Morphe stuff anyway, based on what I've seen at least. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to go back in with the original brush with whatever's left of the Courtney, just to re-blend those edges. And soften that up a little bit. Cool. So now I want to go in with a really good black. I've got the Conspiracy palette, the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star collab. Really good palette. I love the color range, but I haven't really used many of the shadows, to be honest. Or haven't really used many of the shadows, to be honest. It's just been the way that it's gone. So I am going to try their black today. Titled My Rides Here. Really cute titles. So much hype when they were doing that docu-series as well. Now, with this, just want to add a little bit to the outer corner, and then I'll add a little bit to the inner corner as well, up to the top, and then blend it into the blue. I'm sure you can start to see what I'm going for now. Or I hope so, at least. coming along nicely. I don't know what it is, but I've always loved a good smoky eye. Many years ago when I was a young little gay boy, I did drag, and I always did a smoky eye. But I did it very differently to how I do now. If I continue with YouTube and continue making videos and content, then I might do a video on how I used to do that compared to how I do it now, maybe like a half-half. Although having said that, I don't really do drag these days anymore. Love it as an art form, but just not quite there for me. So where do you guys want to go once, or what do you guys want to do, first thing you want to do once lockdown is over and once COVID is over? Let me know down below. I think one of the first things I want to do is travel, which I'm assuming is going to be a pretty common theme. Don't necessarily want to travel internationally, but I wouldn't mind getting out and seeing some friends that I've got in Tasmania or some family over in WA. I guess I'll see what happens. Head up north to Carnarvon. It's far northern WA. It's in the middle of nowhere. If anyone from Carnarvon is watching this, hi! Oh, it's backwards and forwards. It's kind of like a halo eye. Well, pretty much is a halo eye, let's be honest. Felt like doing a little bit differently today and trying it another way. You should always challenge yourself and always try to do different things, new ways. Cool. So the blend and the shape is pretty much where I want it. Just going to come in and clean up that blue a little bit. So, set up. A little bit more pronounced. Love this blue. But then again, I love the majority of their colors. Better. I'm just going to go back in with the blender that I've been doing the black with. Just to blend those edges a little bit and soften it out. All right. Now, I'm going to take a slightly thicker pencil blending brush. I'm just going to start under the eyes now. Obviously, you could see it part of the way through it. I was already starting to bring it out under the eye. I'm just going to now go in and deepen that a little bit more and give it a little bit more of what I'm wanting. Give it a little bit more of a smoke under the eye. Yeah. That moment when it starts to come together. Or at least when you think it's starting to come together. Okay, now, with the same brush that I used to get the blue, just going to come in and do a little bit. Little bit just under the eye as well. And then come back in with the same brush from before. And blend that out. Stab yourself in the eye as you go. Always a good idea. Blend that out so it's not quite so. If you need to add a little bit more to the brush to help the blending, go for it. Do whatever's going to make it work for you. Cool. Now, I'm going to come back in with the same crease brush and the black from the Shane Dawson palette again. And just deepen those outer corners. Give it a little bit more depth, give it a little bit more drama. And then up into the top as well. Like I said, it's a lot of backwards and forwards. If you're anything like me, you find that you finish one spot, get it where you want it, and then you want to go back in and adjust it again. Cool. All right, so now that the eyes are done and the blend is done, I'm going to now move into contour, blush, my favorite part, highlight, before going back in and finishing off the eyes or touching off the eyes wherever necessary. So I'm just going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette just with the mid-tone shade. It's what works well for me. Just give a little bit more shape to those cheekbones, because lockdown's got me putting on a lot of weight. And I've turned into a pudding man. This is the Marc Jacobs, the bronze brush. Absolutely love this brush. So good. Getting there. Yay, I have a face shape again. The other thing I'm going to do once this COVID lockdown is over is go and get more Botox, because my face is moving too much. I need my chin back. Cool. So now that the contour is done, I'm just going to go in with a blush. I think I'm going to go in with just a mix of colours from Line Lily Cosmetics blush palette. I think I'm probably going to do a mix of these 4. Does anyone else mix their blush colours? No, I find that never quite the shade that I want. And that's a little intense. But that's okay, we can go in and knock it back. Now, just with the powder brush that I used before, if you do find that you put maybe a little bit too much blush on, completely fine. Just whatever powder's left on your brush, just go over wherever you want to knock it back. But just make sure that the same with your eyes, that you go in and reblend wherever necessary. Now, I don't know why I do blush on the tip of my nose. I like the way that it looks. Looks a little bit more cold. There we go. I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown in Pink Glow. So it's a little pinky, a little bronzy, a little peachy. It's a very nice shade. And just a large fan brush. So just nice little sheen rather than having a full-blown mirror on my cheek, which I love having a full-blown mirror on my cheek. But with these eyes, I just wanted to do something a little bit softer, a little bit more gentle. Now, also don't shave. I'm not a big fan of shaving myself. I find that when I'm not wearing makeup, it means that when I'm not wearing makeup, that I have definition. I have a jawline. I have cheekbones. Whereas if I shave, nope, round potato pudding. Just going in with the same highlighter on a Sigma soft blend. It's actually a concealer brush, a large blending concealer brush. But like most makeup and brushes, it has multiple uses, and I actually really like it for highlighting. Just a little bit down the tip. And onto the brows, I'm going in with, yet again, Bobbi Brown in their Sable Mahogany. So it's kind of a grey-brown type tone. Naturally, I have quite dark hair. You can see it. More of a, I guess you'd say like a deep chestnut. Someone's gonna drag me for calling it chestnut. And I love the look of a bold brow. I just don't like the look of a bold brow on me. So I tend to go in more with the cooler tone. And just fill in and give back a little bit of that shape that's missing. I guess part of the reason why I don't like to see myself with thick, bold brows is day to day, as you would have noticed, this part of my brows is rather thin, and under normal lighting, it actually kind of disappears. So I'm just not used to seeing myself with full brows. Now that that's done, I'm going to go in with the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lip in Mannequin, and I've got the lip liner to go with it. Can you tell I have an addiction to Jeffree Star cosmetics? Now, do your lips however you want to do your lips. If you like to overdraw them, if you like to do big lips, if you like to do really bold lips, go for it. You do you. Me, I kind of like to keep it somewhat around where the natural shape is. Cool. Now that they are lined, lipstick. Now, I twitch a lot, so this is always an interesting part. So there you have it, guys, the finished final look with hair done out, well, done I say, it's still wet. I did my lashes off camera. I just used Benefit Roller Lash, really good mascara. I just didn't really want to deal with lashes today. Could definitely put a nice full pair of lashes to give it full oomph, give it full drama. Just didn't really want to do that today. Hair. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Feel free to like, subscribe, depending on how this video goes. I may continue to do more, looking at potentially doing one a week. Follow me on my Instagram, Punchline Cosmetics. I have my personal one as well, but that's me. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a good day, guys.